Hey, what are you doing? My brother's doing the E.I.T.H.R right now. Go to the Spreaker app, that's S-P-R-E-A-K-E-R. Also, set your alarm for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, so you don't miss any content. Remember, Spreaker, S-P-R-E-A-K-E-R, at 3:30 p.m. Search the E.I.T.H.R, E-I-T-H.R. Alright, bro, let's go get some sushi.
You're listening to the E.I.T.H.R podcast with your host, D.Cal.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy D-Cal here, hosting the E.I.T.H.R podcast. It is Wednesday, the 27th. Kind of lose track. All my days tend to run together. And we're coming live from the GNS headquarters here in beautiful, not too hot Northern California, to be specific, Sacramento, the state capital out here. And we are about to get busy. So far, having a really good week. How about you guys? Hope all is well with every single person here. Thank you very much for tuning in. You know, you could have been anywhere else in the rest of the world, but you chose to be here. And I truly, truly appreciate that. So, I just want to thank everybody that's here from Northern California to where you stay, whether that's in the PNW, the Pacific Northwest, down to Houston, Texas, Florida, again, Denmark, Russia, Canada, anywhere in between, anywhere on the map. I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate that. Whether you're catching the podcast here on Spotify, whether you're getting it on the E.I.T.H.R app, maybe you're getting it from goodpods.com, or you're getting it from my favorite place, which is Spreaker.com. Matter of fact, what you can do is you can go to Spreaker.com, you download their app, go to their website, create yourself an account, and you're able to chat live with me, the host, the almighty, ever so loving, God's favorite, purest thing walking this earth. You can chat with me live here on the E.I.T.H.R podcast whenever we happen to go live, which is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time, which is 6:30 Eastern, 4:30 Mountain, I would think 5:30 Central. And anywhere else in the world, you can kind of figure out your own damn time zone. I ain't got time for all that. If you are a social media wizard, which a lot of people are, because Lord knows I'm not, you can follow us on social media, which is on the Twitter, or you can follow us on the Instagram. The handle is going to be the same. The E.I.T.H.R. Pretty simple. T-H-E-I-T-H-R. That way you can follow any posts that we got. And hell, man, you can even double tap on to show some love, and you can leave a comment on what it is that you would like for us to talk about on the podcast. Because honestly, when it breaks down to it, I'm here for you guys. Anyone who listens to the podcast knows I like to start off my episodes with shout outs. And this shout out is simply going to anybody who's aspiring or anybody who's upcoming, wanting to get out of their comfort zone. Simple as that. Doesn't matter really what it is. Whether you are striving to get a position at your job, whether you are looking to maybe apply a little bit more at your job to become a better employee, whatever that may be. Whether you want to hit the gym, add a different workout to it, maybe switch up your routine and start doing something for self-improvement to better yourself. And, simply making time for things that you feel you are worthy of doing that you never have done. I want to give you a salute. I'm going to give you a shout out because the hardest step is the first one. Once you make that first step, then the momentum should push you forward. So I want to go ahead and do that. After we give shout outs, we like to do motivational suggestions. Again, I don't like to give advice because people don't take. Not only that, but when you give a suggestion, people are most likely to follow the suggestion than they are the advice because they're less likely to take you trying to tell them what to do. So, the suggestion I want to give to you guys is compete, but never compare. This is huge whenever you're getting into something that's new, especially when you're starting off with a new position or you're getting into the fitness world and you're trying to make a change for yourself from where you are to where you currently want to be in the future. And you see other people who have achieved what it is that you're just starting off and doing. And what that does, it can discourage you. So when I used to go to the gym in the beginning, there was two guys. One was a very chiseled and shaped dude. Nothing like Morris Chestnut. I'm talking about something like was fit, Anyone who doesn't get the Morris Chestnut reference, it's something on my personal page I used to kind of just troll the ladies today. I was bored and wanted to stir the pot, and I think I did with some of them, which is good. Keep the blood going. And the other gentleman was like this, I don't know if he was a professional bodybuilder or not, but dude was swole. Like he was benching 500 easy. And so I kind of jumped into their workouts. I was like, look, man, I'm nowhere near where you guys are. And I understand that. But I figured that if I can at least get into where you guys are at and kind of start off, maybe I can eventually get you where you are. So I knew comparing myself to those guys was never going to be good for me because they have, a few years of a head start. But to at least compete with, well, if you have a number of 10 and my number is 6, the competition is seeing who can hit their number. Yes, my number is lower than y'all, but you also have strength and endurance that I don't, so your number is going to be higher and your weight is going to be more. But at least I can challenge myself to make sure that I hit my goal of doing 6, just to kind of give you guys an example. So that was the competition, right? And there was another guy who was there, Joe. Me and this dude, we kind of gelled because, well, he liked working legs, and I hate legs. I hate working out my legs. And he hated working out his upper body. Legs was his strength, upper body was my strength. So then what we did was we would compete each other into doing workouts for the other person. So he was in charge of leg day, and I was in charge of, doing upper body. And we kind of messed in the middle when it came to core. So, again, find somebody that is a little bit better at you than something else and compete with them. Again, don't compare because you don't know really what they had to do to get to where they're at. You don't know how much time they had to start. You don't know what the situation is. And again, comparing it can be very discouraging. So, those are some things I want to go ahead and suggest for you guys to do moving forward is compete. Always be competing. Always be competitive. There's nothing wrong with competing. Nothing wrong with having a little competition. Keeps you on your toes, keeps you focused, and keeps your goal in mind. But you never want to compare yourself. That's where it definitely gets tricky. So, a few things that I want to talk about here in the podcast before we get into. I like to discuss serious topics. That's what the E.I.T.H.R stands for, the elephant in the room. But every now and then I like to talk about some stuff that's not too serious. That way people don't think this is just like one of those dry ass podcasts that are just about boring shit. So try to mix in a little bit of entertainment if you should. One thing I want to go ahead and ask you guys is if you can bring back one person that's not a family member, not a relative, who would it be? Who would be one person you would want to bring back? Someone who's passed on, someone who's deceased. But who would you want to bring them back? Personally, for me, that's not a relative. I've always thought about this, actually. I would want to bring back JFK. That's who I would bring back. And I know people kind of like, the fuck you want to bring back JFK? because JFK this is before my time. This is like 2 decades before I was even born. But he was the first president who literally wanted to make changes in the country. Literally irked the government, excuse me, to make changes, to do something different than the normal status quo. You know, I feel that if he would have had somebody pull him aside, like, nah, bro, we're gonna put the top up on this one, baby. We're not gonna do the convertible. No, we're not gonna do that. Or, you know what, we're gonna take this street. You know what I'm saying? Here, sit here instead. Right? I think if the attempt didn't succeed, whoever did it would have not only been discovered, but it would have discouraged anybody from trying to make martyrs out of those who are trying to disrupt the status quo, what's going on. And I think with that said, excuse me, there would not have been an assassination attempt on Martin Luther King. There would not have been the coup de grace on the late Minister Malcolm X. There would have been a lot of people who were taken out in the 60s, leaders who orchestrated change in the country, change that we today take advantage of and don't truly appreciate. I really think that if JFK would have made it, people would have got discovered. People would have snitched. The government, the planet Earth will be completely different. That's me. But who would you want to bring back? Who is somebody that you would want to see have made it through, right? Again, someone non-relative. I'm gonna give one more. Personally, in the music industry, I wish Pac would have made it. I wish Tupac would have made it. This is a question I've always wanted to ask, and I'm never going to ask this to their faces, out of respect. But I've always wanted to know, just for my own personal thing, if I can sit down with Cube, Dre, Ren, Yella, and be like, if you could bring Easy back, but run the risk of losing your individual careers. I didn't say you would lose them, but run the risk of losing your individual careers. Because I'm sure his death, unfortunately, also kind of inspired and motivated them to live on his legacy. But what if you could bring him back and this might fall by the wayside? Or not. Like I said, I would never ask them that question, but that is definitely something that I would like, wow. Because I'm thinking maybe they could have still succeeded as a group, because that would have been dope, like some NWA music with them reunited after their fallout. You know, maybe they all would have been bigger, just in different avenues, right? But interesting. But I would bring back Pac because the hip hop game would have definitely been a different animal. For damn sure. It definitely would have been a little bit different if Pac was around. So that's probably would be my second choice. But JFK is definitely the first person that I want to bring back. Now, if you guys could, another question I want to ask you. And again, you can Instagram or Twitter at E.I.T.H.R, the ether. Would you want to be an actor or would you want to be a singer? Right? Who would you want to be? Which profession would you rather have? Being an actor or being a singer? Now, would you also want to be the talent that's on stage, in front of the camera, or would you rather be behind the scenes? Me personally, I would rather be behind the scene. That's just me. And the reason why I want to be behind the scenes, even though you get a lot of attention and you get a lot of recognition and a lot of perks and some things can go your way, every person that I have grown up listening to or watching all said the same thing. There's just stuff that comes with that you can't take into consideration, right? And me, myself, the way my attitude is built, I would speak on it. And that could get me in trouble because of my opinion and how I would address certain things. I don't think it would go well, especially the way things are reported in today's world. But I definitely would be either actor, singer, doesn't really matter. It will be behind the scenes, whether it's a songwriter or a producer or, maybe even director, but definitely will be in the cut. It would definitely be in the cut. I'm a homebody anyway when it comes down to it. I don't really care too much for the extra attention. I kind of want my attention to be amongst the people that I know. But what say you guys? Which would you rather be? On stage or behind the scene? And then I got some more for you when we get right back.
Hello, my name is Candace Romero, and it has been my absolute privilege and honor to be teaching people about doTERRA's essential oils for the last 9 years and helping people live their most vibrant life. If you'd like to learn more about my natural solutions, please feel free to contact me on Facebook at Bay Area Terra Tribe Essential Oils and Natural Solutions, or check out my website, my.doterra.com/Romero. That's my.doterra.com/ROMERO. Thank you.
Hi, this is Clarissa with Sipology, and we have a fantastic selection of tea, teaware, and various other items. Currently, we are offering a huge 25% off sale with Christmas in July. Come check us out on Facebook at E.I.TH.R. That's E.I.TH.R.
Okay, so gotta give love to my peoples, Candace Romero and Carissa Johnson, for doing their thing for doTERRA and for Ritual Tea Party. They making it happen. Shout out to the lady entrepreneurs out there doing their thing, thinking outside the boxes. That's what you're really supposed to do in order to adapt to today's world. You gotta get creative. You gotta damn sure get creative, man, with the way things are going. And you never want to put all your eggs in one basket. You at least want to have a couple of baskets with some eggs in them. That way you'll never ever go hungry. So anyway, back to the topics here at the E.I.T.H.R podcast. Thank you very much for listening to me put my peoples on, try to help spread the word for them. I'm going to ask this question, and this kind of goes out to my fellow overthinkers. How do you get your brain to turn off? Like, how do you do it? Are you able to do it? Because Lord knows, I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. Like, my brain does not shut up. And it's frustrating. Now, I know for some of us overthinkers, when it comes to our brain, mine tends to set up situations that I don't see yet. And that could be from experience. Some people will give credit to the universe, to whomever, whatever it is that you possibly, believe in. But my brain will have you do something, and literally, I'm not even kidding you, like within a couple of days or a couple of weeks later, it was a seed that was planted for something that was about to take place in your future. So, and I'll be like, oh, I didn't know I was prepping for this, right? Is your brain like that? I know I have a lot of friends. My homegirl Meredith, she's out in Florida, right? What up, Queen? And she had this post like a woman would stress over 99 different scenarios, and 86 of them she totally made up herself, right? And she has an overthinking brain. And the stripper, she has an overthinking brain. And how do you, what do you do to get your brain just to like STFU? What do you do? Do you have conversations with yourself? Do you speak out and like out loud to yourself and have a whole little dialogue? Do you self-medicate? Do you drink? Do you keep it internal? Do you jot it down in a journal? Do you write it out and then read it and then throw it away? How do you deal with this? So Alicia texts in, or she chats in, lots of distractions or talking it out with trustworthy people. The moment it's quiet, that brain is rolling full steam. Right? And I think to piggyback on what she's saying in the chat is you can address all the issues, right? But everyone knows the moment is quiet and you think you found peace and resolution to the problems you were having and you addressed earlier and you discussed it and you put it out there, all of a sudden that brain, it nitpicks something that you said, they said, or it brings up a point that you missed making, and it attacks you for not being prepared for it. It's almost like that boss at work that doesn't like you, or that drill sergeant in the military that constantly reminds you that you fucked up. Like no matter what. But I know that there are some people out there who do have methods of addressing like this busy brain of theirs. And, I'm just curious on what it is that you guys try to do. I drown my brain out with music, right? I try to listen to music, especially, inspiring and encouraging music. But even then, sometimes my brain would get on me. Like, instead of listening to music, you could be, producing music. Why are you listening to somebody else's work when you could be creating work for your own, for others to listen to? So I was thinking, like, people like Eminem, for example, they have brains like this too, where it's constantly just nagging at them. And I think maybe it's just something internally that wants to keep you pushing, keep you driving, keep you going, that does not want you or whatever allow you to be complacent. But then again, is this something also that I'm unaware of for brains that act like this that causes people to just have an anxiety about something? Like, is it something deeper than that? So I'm just kind of curious on what you feel, what you think, what you believe. You're more than welcome to get some feedback from you guys, because help each other out. Because like I said, you might have a solution that I can put out on the podcast that will help somebody else that's going through some type of struggle that they may believe that they're going through, right? So it'd be great if you guys can do that. But yeah, I'm going to kind of just point the time to the overthinkers, because we don't always voice what's in our head because there's so much going on. I think that if we do try to voice it, the story gets so convoluted with information, most people can't follow that. And it makes you feel subconscious like you're just rambling on and no one's understanding you. So again, overthinking, you keep it tied to yourself. So, I want to get your feedback on that. If you guys can go ahead and share some opinions, that'll be great. Another thing I want to talk about it's kind of more not a serious note, but I want to address people on social media because social media has definitely made people comfortable with being tough from a distance, right? And everyone knows this. And what I mean by it's not so much like the tough guy who talks, whatever, but kind of about the tough guy who talks. Like if you women, I'm talking to you specifically. How many men go in your inbox and send you like the coolest pictures ever thought of to get your attention? And we all know what I'm talking about, right? How many of you guys have had some of the most dreamy, the most romantic pickup lines ever dropped by a guy in your DM, right? I think it's probably more creative on Twitter, but we all know people do this because either A, they're doing it for the shock value, right? They just do it just to get the reaction because that makes them feel accomplished. Also, I think part of it is the shit works. Or I'm kind of speaking on from female friends that I've talked to about this. Sometimes the shit's not working. They're just entertaining the guys for doing it. But men, we're stupid. So we take whatever response she gives as if she's eating this up, like she's buying it. Oh, this shit works. Oh, dude, I'm gonna smash. No, bro. Like, no, just no. She's entertaining, your ego, because she's bored right now. She's at the doctor's office. She's waiting to get her nails done. She's on break. She's en route going home. She's in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? So she's just entertaining you real quick, right? She doesn't mean any of this, right? But the point is, it's gotten people to the level where they legitimately start to speak like this in public or in person or on the phone. Like this becomes their daily conversation to where they almost forget social media and real reality don't necessarily go hand in hand. Like you can't do that. So is it the men need to be more respectful and cautious? Do the women need to be more assertive for letting them know don't cross this line, or vice versa, right? Which is it? Because I know some women who can get down and dirty with the best of them when it comes to one-liners and inappropriate jokes and humor, right? But then again, where is that line? Because someone always going to take it too far, and when a person takes it too far, can they reel it back? Will you accept them if they do try to reel it back? Like, it's such a slippery slope because one day you're cool, tomorrow you won't be, right? And I think, again, we said this in the last episode too, excuse me, when it comes to reading tone and intention, like what voice do you hear this in? Is it your current mood, or are you making the assumption this is what this person means, but going back to it, people are really, they're bold from a distance, but they're very quiet. It's almost like two personalities, right? So I just find it interesting. I tell people, like, what you get 6 minutes from now is what you're gonna get 6 months from now. And I'm the same person I was 6 years ago, so guess how I'm gonna be in the next 6 years. I'm the same, And I think a lot of people don't like that because they think you're going to be, for lack of better terms, worse than you are as they get to know you. And I try to tell folks, like, nah, man, what you see is what you get. Simple, And I've had to learn this. Look, man, communication is key. Because one of my biggest things was communication was, I just assumed you know. I assume you know what you should and what you shouldn't do. So I think people need to kind of let folks know there's a line not to cross, and if they cross it, depending on the situation, kind of give some leeway with it. And I think people need to respect the fact that, okay, I crossed the line and need to come back. But you also have to learn there's a group of people you can, and there's a group of people you cannot cross that line with. Act accordingly, right? Act accordingly. Because there's certain women I can make certain jokes with, and there's other women I know for a fact I can't. And I'm telling you this right now, speaking from a male to the men listening, if you feel, should I? I don't know if I should. Don't. Simple as that. If you have to sway back and forth on whether you should or shouldn't do, the answer is 100% no. That's how you solve that problem. 100% no. Right? Because I'd rather for someone to tell me, dude, I don't even trip off stuff like that. It's perfectly cool with me. If it bothers me, I'll let you know. I'd rather get that message than to jump off the plane with no parachute thinking she will appreciate it. Next thing you know, you're blocked. And you can't figure out why. Right? I'd rather be granted permission than to have to ask for forgiveness. That's me. Right? That's me. Some people are the opposite. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than grant permission because this is who I am. But like I said, there's consequences to every action. So you can't get mad if people don't respond the way this group over here does. So it's interesting. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is more of a serious issue. And this kind of been bothering me for a while, honestly, truly. So we're going to get right into it. And everyone knows what this is. So, the elephant in the room that I want to address for today's episode. How do we fix the homeless problem? How do we fix this homeless issue that we got across the nation? Now, as I've learned in plenty of years ago, things are very, very simple, but to solve them is not always easy. And to address the homeless situation, I think, feel, and believe, we need to simply give those who are homeless a designated area that's kind of out of the way of the working class, but close enough to where they can still access to get food, grocery, things of that nature. Now, if I had the power to do so, which as a human on this earth, I do, just like anybody else, what I would do is get porta potties and put these porta potties in certain areas that you see encampments. And I would tell the homeless people, I would tell, what they call it now, because I guess it's inappropriate to call them that now, the unhoused community. I would tell them, you are responsible for keeping this clean, right? If anyone remember the sitcom The Wire on HBO, the police in episode, it was like season 4, they did this. They called it Amsterdam, where they gave you your dedicated area to sell drugs. Here, between this and this area, all you. And outside of this area, you're going to jail. Here, free to do whatever you want to. And all your clients will send them this way. That way, this is your neighborhood, this is your area, this is your territory. You're responsible. Whatever happens here, that's on y'all. Don't bother us over here. I would do that. I would find some place that's undeveloped and give them, here's your porta potties. Every so often I would bring I believe Jaden Smith, the son of Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. They have these trucks. I believe it's them. It's like these mobile showering trailers. And, twice a week, we'll come through, sanitary stations, so on and so forth. Shower, get clean. Because I'm telling you right now, anybody who's ever had to grind for 2, 3, 4 days in a row, and you haven't showered because you just grind mode, right? Anyone who's had a long day at work, once you take that hot shower, it's almost like all that weight of stress goes away and you just feel completely relaxed on top of cleansed. So I would do that. At least twice a week, come through, y'all shower, get cleaned up. Cool. Maybe he would have a spot to where they can go and do their laundry. Or maybe have it to where their place is near somewhere where they can do their laundry. So, people, if you drive in this neighborhood, or if you drive through this neighborhood, or you drive through this area, deem panhandling legal. So if you see somebody out there and you want to give them money or food, you can do that. You can't do that over here. But if anyone wants to come out of their way over here, this is your community. We just ask for you to keep it clean. We just ask for you to keep it presentable. All we ask for you to do is keep this area as sanitary as possible. That's it. That's all we want you to do. And if you want to get a job, contact so-and-so. We'll work something out. That's how I would solve the homeless issue. Because I'm telling you right now from experience, sometimes financial situations happen. And the last thing you want is for somebody to have to take their family on the street and not know how to survive. Because then they get caught up in that world and they don't know the rules. Who knows what happens? And then unsafety, issues and all that fun shit. But I would tell people, this is your area. This is your community. And I'm almost willing to bet you that the unhoused community would treat those who are now unhoused a lot better and more civilly than those of us with homes treat the unhoused people. It's weird how that works, right? So that's how I would fix it. Give them a designated area, man, that's out the way, but not too far. But it's not too close. We can see it, but we don't see it. We know where it's at, but we don't go over there unless we have a reason to. So that's it. What's your feedback on how you would fix the homeless issue and some of the other issues with overthinking brains and if you would become an actor or celebrity, or would you become a singer behind the scenes on stage or whatever, what have you? Let us know. We will be back on Friday, 3:30 Pacific Standard Time. Here, good looking out, everybody. Appreciate the love. You guys be good. Take care.
This is Sherelle, creator of the Business Lounge for Successful Entrepreneurs, and you're listening to the E.I.T.H.R podcast, hosted by D.Cal. Crush all the struggles and pressures that get in your way, big or small, minor or major. We all are fighting demons that others do not know about. But it's how you handle it that makes it look easy. Shop at Mile.today. Again, Mile, MILE.today. Mile.today.
I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.